Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and this week's Spotlight on Story, we're going to be talking about the Creeper. Now, we just put out the Creeper, 10 Things About the Creeper earlier on today, so you go and check that out. That is the origin story right there and the gist of what he can do power-wise. Created by Steve Ditko, all that good stuff. Steve Ditko is again credited here. He's often credited as the sole creator of the Creeper. Everything that had to do with him, it was pretty much just all him. Straight out of his mind. So this is another Creeper story. There was several Creeper stories out there, and I'll try and remember to post them around here if I can. If not, maybe the description below. There should be a suggested reading list below. Excuse me. Anyway, this is a really cool story, and this is actually my first exposure to the Creeper. I used to collect the Flash when I was younger, and issues number 318 through 323 were the particular issues that this story were in. It was a backup story, so maybe the fourth or fifth appearance of the Creeper. Anyway, this is cool. So the writer, for the most part, is Carl Gafford. The final two issues are actually written by Nicola Cuti. Cuti or Cuddy, C-U-T-I. Anyway, Carl Gafford also did the colors for all of these issues. After that, you got Dave Gibbons doing the art for the first two issues or so. The next couple, you got Chuck Patton doing them. You got several inkers here, Sal Trefani and Mike DiCarlo. The only consistency this entire time is the colors is Carl Gafford, who also did the writing, like I said, for the first all but the final two issues, and the editor was the same the entire time, Ernie Colin. So wow, man, just nothing but a whole lot of wow. This story is very twisted, and for most characters that wouldn't work, but for somebody like the Creeper, I think it worked just fine. So let's get into the story itself. All right, the Creeper is he's in Gotham City. Yeah, he actually operates in Gotham City, in the shadows of Gotham, and he puts a beating on some of the bad guys there. And there's this one guy named Thumbs, and he's like, Daredevil's Turk. You know what I'm saying? He just puts a quick beating on this guy. Anyway, he's going to go and try and save this old dude, but this old dude winds up having a heart attack who is getting extorted for money. So Thumbs winds up getting away. He's the only guy who gets away because Creeper has to stop off and call a paramedic. Yeah, there's no cell phones back then, dudes. This was like 1983. So Jack Ryder. Okay, again, Creeper, 10 Things About Creeper in about a minute. Go check that out so you understand Jack Ryder, the alternate personality. Jack is like, okay, man, turns out I'm moving to Boston. All right, I just got fired from my place, so we're going to retcon the history a little bit. It doesn't even have to be really that retconned, just a little tiny twist, a little tweak. Anyway, he's a daytime TV host, and he gets fired because whatever, he was too hard-nosed with his guests. He wouldn't throw softballs. He was always like, no, speaking truth to power, let's talk about, the actual facts here. I'm not letting you get away with anything. So what happens? He goes to what do you call it? He winds up losing a lot of money, and he has to hock his plane ticket that he was given so that he could trade it for bus fare because he needs a little extra cash on him. So he takes the bus to get to where he needs to go to up in Boston. And the woman who goes to meet him, she's an direct underling of the main guy. She's like, hey, you're 20 minutes late. Your plane landed 20 minutes ago. Now, this may seem like it's silly today, but back in the day, there wasn't nearly that much security. So, and personally, it's my opinion, that's a good thing. Taking off your shoes. Come on, TSA. Literally, just messing with it. You know what? Go watch George Carlin to understand his take on the TSA. Okay, so we have, she's like, I'm not putting up with you. You're a has-been as far as I'm concerned. You're a has-been TV personality, and you mean nothing to me, and I'm not going to put up with your lateness or your silliness. So get in. The boss likes you. I don't. Oh, cute. Very cute. She winds up turning a leaf later on. But in the meantime, he goes in, the boss, likes him a lot. He's like, listen, I want you to basically do what Ditko had him do in his original story. He says, I want you to basically be an investigative journalist, okay? We got a whole bunch of leads. We don't have TV shows up here that have, like do what you did. So I need you to be an investigative journalist. We get a couple leads. I need you to go in there, kick a little booty, take a couple of names, and literally verify. If we get a crank call, go and check out, see if it's real. If we get, a real tip, go and check out the veracity of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need you to do. So, boom. Anyway, there's this knucklehead, Wesley Wintergreen the third, Winterbourne. Wesley Winterbourne the third. Now, they get into it here, man. Carl Gafford, he's not playing around. This guy was a Tory. I don't know if you remember your history lessons, the pre-Revolutionary War, the Tories and the Loyalists. Yeah, this was not the peasant class. This was the Tories specifically. And they were a very, very wealthy elite class, and they wound up losing all their money in 29. Fortunately for them, that's when the Prohibition was at some of its highest. It was also the time of the Great Depression. So they went into bootlegging and racketeering, and I promise you they made a lot more money doing bootlegging. Just ask the Kennedy family. Oh, I went there. So anyway, these guys, they go and they start making their money that way until they can make their money more legitimate by buying politicians. Yeah, this is an old game, guys. This is a seriously old game. This isn't something new. So I love that the writer doesn't play around like that. In my opinion, if you're going to write a Steve Ditko character, you damn well better have some serious upstarting personality, characterization to these individuals that you're writing about. That's just my opinion. And mind you, Ditko wasn't always like that. Ditko was always about calling it right down the middle, but it seems somewhat skewed. Here, I think that's a really good idea to put the twists on that. So the Creeper is that little bit of a crazy guy here. Anyway, so he moves to Boston, and Jack Ryder moves to Boston. So obviously the Creeper's there also, and Thumbs winds up moving there also. It's the weirdest thing. Thumbs moves there also to try and get away because the Creeper's always, hounding him. So Thumbs gets called in to Wintergreen's office like, hey, listen, you're going to do this, this, and this. Okay, you're going to do all these bad things. You're going to go and do some racketeering of your own. You're going to do the protection racket. All right. So I need you to go in. I need you to, get money, collect money from these people so that we, or just so that they remain safe, from us. Listen, man, I'm Sicilian. I know how the mafia works. So that's basically what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Pay us or we're going to wreck your place. And we might even hurt you permanently, forever. Seriously, we'll kill you. So Creeper goes and he busts up this party. Well, this one doctor, this really old doctor, is sitting here doing his thing. And he's like, oh, man, they came here for a bunch of prescriptions. They're doing a drug operation. Yeah, it's really messed up, dude. Well, this one cat comes along and he just like Creeper's putting a beating on everybody, but this one cat just comes along and just with a machine gun. Dude gets hit several times in his chest, and it takes a couple hours, but he heals fully. Yeah, eventually his healing factor would get even faster than that, but this was actually pushing the limit for the Creeper. So took direct point-blank machine gun fire, got right back up. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So he pulls himself out of the sewer or whatever dump he found himself in, Boston's version of the Hudson. And he goes back and he's this is a quick little retelling of his story, his origin story, which 10 things about the Creeper, explained in a minute. So he goes back to the scene and he finds the envelope where he's supposed to go and pay Yats. Yats is actually the doctor. The doctor who gave him the serum, 10 things about Creeper. Rather, this is a different doctor, the doctor who was being picked on in the previous battle. So he's like, oh, here's this money. Well, the doctor goes and calls up Wintergreen. Hey, man, this dude comes and give me my money. Is the Creeper working for you now? What's going on? He's like, no, the Creeper doesn't know anything about this. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. Unfortunately, what Winterbourne is about to do is he's sending Thumbs and a couple people to go and kill that doctor. Because turns out, doctor knows a little bit too much. What does he know? Well, allow me to explain. The doctor does wind up getting jacked up. But it turns out that the doctor was actually part of the operation. He went, according to, what's his name? This guy here, he's studying for like 35 years or whatever. Did he say 35 years? That would be funny if he actually said 35 years. But anyway, he studied for all this time, and he just winds up he's selling prescriptions. So the doctor's actually in on this racket. So he's selling blank prescriptions to people, and that's how he's making all this extra money. So that money was to him from Winterborn. That was his cut for what he was doing. These guys were going around distributing these prescriptions. So Thumbs, he's just gotten beaten up so many times, and it's like, dude, no matter what I do, I keep on getting jacked up. What's up? So all of a sudden the police show up. Creeper actually drops Thumbs off in front of these two police officers. And Thumbs is just like, okay, guys, I'm so sick of this. Listen, I'll tell you whatever you need to know. I'll tell you all about my boss and everything. I'm going to give you everything. And the cops are like, really? That's exactly what our boss Winterborn wanted to know. Bang. Yeah, the cops were bought. Like I said, dude, this has been happening for years. So the cops were bought, and they off Thumbs. So Thumbs is gone. Now we keep on seeing this one little kid. There's by little kid, I mean like he's a little bit above a teenager. And it's like, dude, what the F is going on with this kid? Why do they keep showing this bum kid walking around? Well, it turns out this kid is addicted to this drug. There's this version of cocaine that's laced with something. It's like, what's going on here? So this kid is actually Jack Ryder's new boss, his son. It's that dude's son. So he's addicted to drugs, and the dad doesn't know what's going on. He was actually trying to talk to the doctor. They're all trying to figure out what's up, and nobody can figure anything. Well, we're going to get a little bit deeper into this now, because turns out that this drug winds up turning people into these big lizard folk type things. Yeah, and they're just furiously angry. Furiously? Can't really say that, can you? Furiously angry all the time. Like just at a drop of a hat, I will attack you. Rah! Big lizard man coming at you. So Creeper has to go and do a little bit of an investigation during the daylight. And he's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? This one guy goes and stabs him. He's like, what? Puts a spanking on him. Do you know how much that hurts? And he's like, oh, you're the real Creeper. Okay, please. I'm going to rat my brother out. He's the one who's doing all the drugs. He's like, all right. Where can I find him? He's at this one place. It's a punk rock club. All right, fine. It's funny. Jack Ryder tries to get into the club, and he can't get into the club because he looks too straight edge. So he comes back as the Creeper. The guy's like, hey, come on in. You'll fit in just fine. And yeah, he would. So he goes in, and he like beats up the big brother. He's like, your brother ratted you out. He specifically said, don't tell you. That's why I'm telling you. Beats him up and all that stuff. He's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, man. All right, the truth is that it's like, here's the card of this guy, and he's the one that's been giving me all the drugs to go and sell to people. I didn't know that people were really going to get hurt. This one girl you saying got killed? Yo, man, I love that girl. She was good people. So he's actually really upset. Does he go to jail? I don't think he does. I don't think he needs to. Either way, at this point, we're going to switch over to, what's her name? Nicola Cootie. That's her name. And everything just gets completely switched around topsy-turvy at this point. Now we start going this big Dark Side Manor looking place. Tales of the Dark Side looking mansion. And this guy called the Kraken. There's these two Kraken brothers, they're named. The one guy actually looks like a Kraken. The other guy is just a crackpot. And everybody's going in there, like literally everybody's going at the same time trying to figure out what's going on. Here's Winterborn. He was somehow, that was loud. Winterborn was actually the third, was actually addicted to this drug, and he's turning into a lizard. The Creeper happened to get that information to go in there. Now he was given that card, mind you, by his informant. But with Nicola taking over, guess what? All of a sudden it's like, oh, I found this card. What? No, you didn't. You found it when the guy gave it to you, dude. Whatever. Inconsistencies, I'm good with it. I was a kid when I read this. I was a preteen, and this was an amazing comic book, all right, back in the day. Still pretty cool. So this is this guy called Liggett. He Liggett, I think it is. And he might as well be an ET. Might as well be an extraterrestrial. He's just this ridiculously huge dude. He's just, Liggett kill people. Oh, lizard go and beat, Liggett go and beat up lizard people. Maybe me get you later. Liggett cool. Just like that. I swear that's how he talks. So he's walking around, And he's basically the bodyguard of one of the Kraken brothers. I think it's Chris. Anyway, maybe it's not. Doesn't really matter. No, I'm pretty sure it's Chris. Maybe it's Lan. Doesn't matter. So basically, like, these last two issues are just weird, man. They the Creeper has to beat up this Liggett guy, which is actually easier done than said. It's like he almost gets jumped from behind, but he realizes it because he sees a shadow. He's like, oh, super fast reflexes. And then here's a kick. Boom. Ooh, you got a rock hard stomach. Ow, you punch like a Superman. Well, watch this. Crack. 2 hits. Knocks the guy over a banister. Boom, head first into the ground. Breaks the freaking ground open. The floor of this old house. Dude, like, Creeper is straight savage. He jacks Liggett up bad. Dude's not getting up. Might well be dead. Kind of deserves it. So, Creeper goes in to try and stop what's going on, but, like, we don't even find out exactly what's going on. Literally, we don't find any of this. The final issue of this is Creeper running up to put a beating on these guys, but the one Kraken guy's like, I was always, with his tentacle arm, I was always trying to live up to the expectations of my father. And the brother's like, no, don't worry about that. I love you, man. He's like, no, this is bad. And you led Creeper here. He's like, no, that was an accident, man. Meanwhile, what's his face? Winterborn the Third, he's like, somebody please help me. I'm melting. Please give me my elixir so I might leave. And the one Kraken brother, he's like, Chris, it's me, your brother Hal. Will you forgive me? He's like, no. And he pushes this button and he blows the hole. Boom! The whole mansion explodes. Everybody dies. Except at the very end, the Creeper rises from his grave. Rise from your grave. That's right. And it's just, he's going to be in a maxi series, which he's never in a maxi series. It doesn't happen. Next time we see him, he's like in a Brave and the Bold or whatever, one of the world's finest, like a single issue. And then he winds up being seduced by Eclipso. There was a female version of Eclipso. Just let that go, man. She got Plastic Man, then she went after, the Creeper. And just let it go, dude. Just let it go. Again, this was my very first introduction to this character, and I freaking loved this character. This was amazing. It's like all he was is a dude who's super hyped. It's like he's got, extra adrenaline that's always going out, and he's putting up beating on people. If I had to complain about this one comic, is that neither of the writers, nobody here really exemplified the laugh. There was very little laughter here. The original issue of the Creeper had laughter everywhere. The laughter wasn't meant to hurt anybody, just to distract them while he's thinking and trying to act crazy. He just keeps on doing his laughter. At one point he's like, oh yeah, man, I'm actually busting my vocal cords. I don't think I can get out one more ha. Meanwhile, he keeps on getting out ha 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 ha. Like he's just laughing literally like a madman to confuse everybody. Later on after this, you come to find out that his laughter can actually cause physical pain and nausea and disorientation to the people around him. So that's even cooler in my opinion. But here, there's like very little laughter. And in the first book, like, it has to be Ditka. I don't know who else would be able to do this. That was actually on the book. Just laughter, all like ha 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 ha, all over the place, like you see currently with the Joker books a lot of times, where you just see laughter everywhere. It's like you don't even know where it's coming from. Meanwhile, dude's standing right there in front of you. That's the one thing that I could really complain about with this book. It was messed up. There was no continuity. There was shifts. It was changing. It should have gone on a lot longer. It was a very weird comic book with so many shifts of the creative team. You know what I'm saying? The people who were responsible for getting it out. The editor was the only consistent person on here, and that's. He wasn't able to hold it down. Like Ernie Colin was not able to hold down editing the proper way. It was like, I'm going to do spell checks, but you guys are going to do whatever you want for the story because I just don't care. And that was a shame because this was awesome. And this really should have gone someplace. So very disappointed that didn't, but it is what it is. Well, one of these days, maybe DC will, call me up. Hey, Professor Bill, listen, we want you to come in and we want you to write the Creeper. And I'll be like, dude, worry not, fear not. I got you back. But in the meantime, That was it. That was literally my introduction to the Creeper, and just such an amazing character. And literally, it might very well be the worst of the Creeper stories that's out there. There are so all the other Creeper stories, for the most part, are amazing. They're amazing. Even one later on where he winds up becoming an oni, a Japanese demon captured inside of a soul sword of some sort. I wonder if we'll ever get to that spotlight and story. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Anyway, guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.